All right, today we're going to do some so-called vibe coding. We're building a Reddit clone using Claude Code and a library for a skill set for Claude Code called Get Shit Done. I've been playing with it for about 2 weeks now. My only feedback is that it does give me a lot of downtime, which is the most exciting thing to watch on the stream. So we'll see how this goes. Let's see. I forget what's next on our agenda, so see what's next. I'll show you what I have built so far. The main feed here with filtering. The best of, and then the time period. We have all. See the homepage, which is stuff that's I think that you're following specifically. We have the list of communities. Just a few example ones here. Go into this one. Again, filtered by time, best, top, etc. You can create a post, text, link, and image. Give it a title. You know how Reddit works. Let's actually see what's going on here. I might have to find something else to do. I didn't realize we had reached the end of the feature set I had planned out here. Yes. Starting a milestone. Yeah. Let me know if the music's too loud or if it's not loud enough or if I'm not loud enough. Anything to make it unique. Styling's kind of bland. Less bland. Did you add any new features to this milestone? Yes. Saved post. All right. Don't make it look. Don't make it look like AI slop. I have a good design skill that I found called UI UX Pro Max. It does a pretty good job at making things not look terrible. This looked way worse before I ran it over, but it does look exactly like Reddit for the most part, and I'd like to do something a little more creative here. And I don't know what's possible with this skill, so I'd like to kind of just stretch the boundaries here. It knows what looks like. It knows it does this all the time, I guess, because it's saying it won't. No glass morphism, no stupid gradients. Hopefully not purple to blue everywhere like it always does. Is anyone out there? I've not been paying attention. Say hello if you are. Let's chat. What do you do for a living? Are you a coder too? How long? Do you do it professionally or just for fun? I do it for both. But lately I've been using these tools a lot, just trying to get to know them. I don't want to fall all by the wayside in the world that's fastly changing quickly these days in regards to being a programmer. I don't love just sitting here pushing a button all day, but when things are in full swing, it's a lot like managing a team underneath you and sort of delegating tasks. So it's not all just hitting a button. It's a lot more reading and planning of documents and things like that. All right, got 4 researchers working in parallel. Super exciting. I haven't streamed in, I want to say it's been almost 2.5 years. I used to do it quite frequently, not for a long time, but there was just a time where I was doing it quite frequently and got busy with work, got busy with work projects, didn't do a whole lot of coding in my free time. And over the past few months, I've started doing a lot more coding in my free time. So I figured it was probably, since I bought all the streaming equipment, time to get back out there streaming. I might try my hand in streaming to YouTube as well at some point. Now that we can combine chats in Twitch, I can use a service like Restream or some other and get dual streaming happening. I'm not sure the discoverability is that great on YouTube, but I spend a lot more time personally on YouTube than I do on Twitch, so I might find my audience. While we're waiting for that, I want to show you something I've been working on. This is my desktop. I use Endeavor OS, which is an Arch Linux flavor derivative. And I like customizing it. I like writing it out. It's my toolbar here. You see when I click on it, it'll show a little Kava visualizer here and tell you what I'm listening to. Right now it's just lo-fi on YouTube, which is hopefully copyright free like it claims to be, so I don't get muted. I built this wallpaper switcher here, which is fine enough. I also built this theme switcher here. I gotta be careful not to hit a light theme so that I don't blind you. Okay, let's do Pine. All right, and the one I've been favoring lately is Everforest, so let's go back to that. Yeah, that's just uses Rofi in a bash script, and it doesn't use symlinks or anything like that. It actually copies files over to all the config folders in my dot files. But actually, I have an article coming out about that soon in the blog. I'll share that next time I stream. The place I work for makes us blog for the company blog. So every 90 days or so we have a post due. It's good for marketing and promotion and stuff like that, so I don't really mind doing it. It's not too bad. They don't really limit us too hard on what we can write about. Obviously, I'm writing about racing my system, so if that passes muster, then it's not so bad. All right, what's it doing? Still waiting on the 3 local agents. All right. Excuse me. Oof, excuse me. Well, I really shouldn't do vibe coding on stream unless it's something a little more early in progress, a little more decisions to be made. I do have another project I could probably switch to, but I want to see if I can get through this redesign stuff first. This get shut done meta framework is pretty cool, except for all the downtime. It does give you a lot of control over the amount of context that you end up using. I think it puts a lot of the work and the thinking and things up front, where it creates a lot of planning documents for whatever feature you're asking for, and then just sort of goes through phases of like research, planning, execution, in that order. I think discussion as well, where it'll ask you specific questions about the features you're trying to build out as it gathers details. It's pretty cool. You should check it out. All right, one more. Researching pitfalls. It tries to avoid the things it knows it could end up doing incidentally. I don't even think I even, okay, I do. I was supposed to say, I don't think I even have a text editor open. It's got some utility functions littering the main, looks like the post file, post by ID. That's not great. Let's see, type in the post content itself. That's all fine. But yeah, this utility function I don't like. Schema should be in its own place, I do think. And export the type. This is probably okay. This is great, actually. I love this. We're using React Query here. We're injecting the query client into the context. This is Tanstack start, by the way. It's not Next.js or anything. It's quite different than Next.js, and I actually prefer it quite a bit. None of the vendor lock-in that you get with Vercel, and a lot more flexibility. So yeah, I'm a Tanstack fan. I use it as exclusively as I possibly can. I haven't used Tanstack start at work yet, but I am using Tanstack router on my current project. All right, so we inject the query client from React Query into the context, which means you can pull it into all the loader functions on each of the routes. Here we're ensuring that this particular query key is loaded in. Let's go. It's not liking that. There we go. Yep, so this just takes the ID and then passes it here to these query keys, which I can go to File, go to Definition. Here we go. I don't love this. It looks like Claude has decided to group all our query keys for each of our sort of domains into a single object. I do like this pattern that it's using, but not all gathered into one like this. Don't love that. So yeah, the query key pattern here is that usually if you're invalidating the cache or setting the cache with either all of the feeds, you either have the list view, that's not the best example. Let's look at communities. All right, you have all the communities, you have the details for a community. You have detail for one community? Is that right? I don't know. This is kind of hard to read and it's hard to explain. But if you look at what it's doing here, you're setting like sort of the root query key value here on communities, representing all the communities. And if you know anything about query keys and React Query, you know what this is doing here. It's just sort of like the namespace of the community's cache itself. And rather than just writing communities here, again, we have communities detail as you would normally put. It's just sort of spreading that value into this array here, so that if you ever wanted to change the root name of this particular query cache, you could just do it here in one place and it would propagate down here essentially to all those calls to list all, or list even, since yeah, this one handles this one. All right, so let's go back. So yeah, our query keys post detail takes an ID, sets that as a query key. We have our post service, get post ID, which is our query options for the query that we're ensuring that we have. And if we go to the post service here we go. It's got all the methods for calling the API. Oh yeah, this is interesting. So we get subreddit posts. If we're on the server, as it can tell by window not being defined, or window being undefined rather, it creates the API client specifically for the server, which has the cookie in it for authentication purposes, and then uses that server client to call the endpoint and get that data back. Otherwise, it just calls API, which is defined elsewhere. I think it's just Axios instance. Yes, it is. Yeah, same endpoint. We should probably even just pull that endpoint out to, well, I guess it passes the, never mind, that'd be some sort of premature optimization. I don't want to have to just make a function that takes a subreddit name just to get a string with the subreddit name in it. That's kind of dumb. Anyways, I prefer to do this, create services for everything that's talking to the API itself, and not use just Axios calls everywhere. Here we go. Let's take a look at what Claude's doing. It should be done. What is it trying to do? It wants to run a Python script for some reason. Remember, we also have JQ, which is a command line utility for working with JSON. And if it looks like it's trying to work with JSON here, it's importing the JSON package in Python. So maybe it needs to read some JSON. Maybe it wants to do some JSON manipulation. I don't know, but I don't want it to do it in Python if we don't have to. I'm not a Python guy. I don't see the reason for it to do Python when we can just use JQ. And it looks like it will use JQ. Cool. This green screen sucks. It's always showing things behind me because my camera is at an angle here. Monitor in front of me is this direction. And so when I face this direction, we got this crescent moon happening here. So I have to sit kind of sideways for it to work. All right, what do we got here? It looks like it's trying to see if it can use the right tool. Doing. Four researchers have completed their research, but were denied write permissions. I don't know why. So they couldn't save their output files. The agent transcripts are stored as JSON in a temp file. Okay, that works. Ah. Typos. It understands typos. Sure. 4 times. I think it'll want 3. tend to keep doing these throwaway projects like Reddit clones, Trello clones, Notion clones. I don't really know why. Partially just to get used to using Tanstack Start and learn its ins and outs. And you know the rest of the stack I'm using these days. Drizzle as an ORM, Tanstack router, stuff like that. But I never really work on like the things I want to work on stream, and haven't historically. I don't know why. Probably be a little more interesting. I tend to work with just personal optimization projects, which aren't necessarily web apps. I built a retrieval augmented generation tool using the notes I've been taking over the past, 5-6 years. Since I started working remotely at the beginning of COVID, I started taking daily notes pretty religiously, and I have those in not an Obsidian vault, in an Emacs org room vault, as it were. So I wrote some Emacs lists to sort of search, or let me start over. It's a RAG system, like I was saying, so it has indexed all those notes, and I built a chat interface to query the notes. Essentially, I could just say, what was I working on in March of 2023, and it would tell me exactly what I was building in that particular day. It's pretty cool. I got confused there for a second because there was something else I was building in Emacs, also AI related. Like I said earlier, I like to play around with different window managers, and one of them is the Emacs X window manager. It's essentially just booting into Emacs itself. Excuse me. There's like no other windows except for Emacs buffers, which can render like X windows. But since Emacs has an awareness of all the windows that are open and the arrangement of those buffer panes and everything, I can essentially use an LLM to I can send to the LLM like the state of everything, what I'm working on, the contents of the buffer, my window arrangement, things like that, as sort of a context. And then the LLM can respond to that by saying, okay, he's working on something related to XYZ. His ideal window arrangement is this one, and it could rearrange the windows automatically based on the context of what I'm doing. I was working on that a while ago and haven't touched it in a bit just because I prefer working in Hyperland these days. And I'm not that great at Emacs Lisp. Too many parentheses? Question mark. Oh, what is this thing doing? Spawning the synthesizer. Synthesizers. All right, looks like it's finished here. Let's look it over. Wow, that's a lot of shit. Okay, surprise me. I'm not reading all that. TLDR. I'm not reading all that. I'm sorry that happened to you. Or congratulations. I don't know. Alright, let's pull this off screen. I do not like typing passwords on screen, even if they're obfuscated. You just never know. Paranoia. It's worked for me so far. Alright, which visual differentiators do we want in V2? Signature color identity, yes. Micro interactions, yes. Thread line personality. Comment thread lines with color characters instead of just plain gray. Empty states with personality. Yes, all those. Let's it'll ask us for details on all these now that we've answered which bases we want covered in our redesign. Oh, 4, nice. Research also flagged car design variation by post. Community specific color accents. Each subreddit tints its header. Yes, do those too. There's like a voiceover sample in this lo-fi music. Alright, save. Which bookmarks differentiators do you want beyond the basics? Save unsaved, save page, type filters, search within saves, save count for authors. Nah, just the basics. That's fine. I mean, how fancy can a save post functionality really be? Anything you want to add to the research you didn't cover? No, research covered it. I actually need to step away for just a second. All right. If you're just tuning in, which you probably aren't, we've been working on a Reddit clone of sorts, and we're using Claude Code and a sort of meta library called Get Shit Done, and another set of skills called UI UX Pro Max. And we're trying to take this boring, very Reddit-like design and see what the skill can do to make it different, just generally different. Didn't really specify too much to it, just said don't make it look like Reddit, essentially. Alright, let's see what it says. Visual identity. These are the criteria for the milestones. App has a signature color palette with 2 to 3 purposeful accent colors, not Reddit orange. That's orange red, please. Phase 2. Dark mode feels intentionally designed, not mechanically inverted. Excuse me. Topography uses a display count for headings that carries personality. I'm not sure what they mean by that. All components share a cohesive visual language. Border radius, shadows, spacing rhythm. Yes, naturally. UI polish. Hover, focus states feel alive with intentional transitions. 3 to 5 key micro interactions. Animated. Vote, save, page transitions. This is just going to be tacky Reddit, ultimately, I think. Comment thread lines have visual personality. I don't really like the sound of that, but we'll see what they come up with. Empty states have witty copy instead of generic no content message. I like that. We'll see how well they do. Check the time. 3 o'clock. All right, if I don't feed my cats by 4 or 5, they will eat me. So I just need to keep track of time. How is my cores doing? Yeah, streaming takes its toll, but I have a pretty beefy machine, so we'll see how it goes. Loading skeletons match redesigned card shapes. Well, yeah. Postcards vary visually by type. Large image, large post larger, link posts show favicons. That's interesting. Link posts show favicons. I guess it's going to reach out to get those. I guess it'll just take the URL that we have, truncated down to just the domain name, link directly to its /favicon.ico file, and try and load it just like an image, like hot load it, like hot linked as they said back in the day. Just hot link an image. Save bookmark. Users can. This is the actual feature I'm adding, and not just visual design. Save unsaved posts with optimistic UI. Cool. Save unsaved comments with optimistic UI. Viewers can view saved items in a dedicated saved page. Saved page has filters. Sure, this looks good to me. If you're trying to dox me, just know that that's not the city I live in. I don't know why it says McCormickville. I don't even know where that is. Yes. As you can see, like I was saying, GSD does a lot of planning and requirements, forethought up ahead, and just sort of carries that context in the stop planning directory and requirements documents, a state document that kind of illustrates to itself the requirements that are already completed and what state that they're in, so that if the context does fill up at any point, your context window, like LLM context window, it'll just clear it out, restart exactly where it finished before we had to clear it out. Sort of maintains cross context, if that makes sense. And requires approval. All right. Spawning road mapper. It's going to map out our requirements, summary of the research it's done. Yes, read file, read state. Oh, it looks like I can delete a post. Good to know. Let's see if there's any throwaway posts I can delete. Oh, I didn't build this one. Let's see, Brian posts. I've done a lot of image posts. Okay. Interesting. I haven't seen this experience yet, so I'm seeing that for the first time. This is part of why I want the redesign. There's just a lot of like kind of just unintentional, careless, bad design parts. This logo sucks too. I don't mind the name. Let's see what's happening. Running the road mapper. I never checked the view count, but I was curious. They say that when you're streaming and you're not sure how many people you have, well, you shouldn't know how many people you have. It will throw you off, make you nervous, kind of have you focus on the wrong things, as it were. And especially when you're starting out or starting over like I am, it doesn't matter. You're gonna have to talk to nobody or whoever's there constantly anyways. Wow, this is awesome. Looks good. I'm gonna try and find some different music. Oh, I hate that. It took me into like a Pokemon mix, and that was intolerable. An intolerable 2 seconds. All right. I don't know why it clears out milestone 1 stuff instead of just creating a new file for milestone 2. I feel like we're losing some historical artifact here, but that's just not the way it works, apparently. It's a lot of noise in the diff here because it's just completely putting new things in. All right, let's just go. Yeah, that could definitely be improved upon. Like something there. I do have loading skeletons, which I like, although they're quite a bit taller than a typical post. Let's try something. This post has a long title, so I'll need to say even more than this, because this title is long and goes on much further than the others for the sake of illustrating what happens when a post title is super long. Hi. Text post. Oh, see this another example of just carelessness. Cool, it looks like I support I forgot about this. Markdown. Oh, it doesn't work. Interesting. All right, let's see. Oh, totally doesn't work. Awesome. Let's see, which community is this? Web developers. All right. All right, let's see what's going on. This should be like a shadow box modal pop-up, as it were. When I click the image, I want to see it bigger, obviously. And let's see. This looks like it was my rice set up some time ago when looks like I was setting up my screenshot hotkeys, which makes sense why I have a screenshot here. And it was cold, and my machine was cold. Good to know. How does the room map look? That's fine. All right, and we're going to go GSD. Well, we're at 75% almost, so let's do clear. And then GSD, discuss phase 9. This music kind of sucks too. Just gonna go back to what I had on before. Let's actually move it. It's like a 12-hour video, so I'm gonna just scan ahead. Alright, it's a little better. It didn't occur to me that I could totally make my own music for my streams. That could be cool. Alright. Which areas do I want to discuss? Warm, cool, electric, playful. Dark character, space and shape and field, token naming. Ugh. I don't really care how they name the tokens. In this instance, I'm not consuming them directly, so they could put them in French for all I care. Alright, which overall vibe should the palette convey? Playful and electric, bold and warm. Think Notion's warm. Does Notion have warmth with Vercel's boldness? Indigos, amber, greens. That sounds gross. Cool and moody, sophisticated, slightly muted. Think GitHub Dark. Oh, I do love GitHub Dark. Raycast. I'm not sure what they mean by that. Is that a website? Is that an aesthetic I'm not familiar with? Slate blues, muted teals, restrained pops of color. Earthy and grounded, terracotta, sage, warm neutrals. Definitely not. So maybe cool and electric. Discord, Figma, linear. I've not used linear. Discord, Figma. Figma looks fine. I wouldn't call it electric or anything. Bold purples, teals, and hot pinks. Yeah, let's do that. What should the primary accent hue be? This is your signature color. Buttons, links, active states. Not purple. Not cyan. Not. Let's do an electric blue. All right, look at this. We're already at 28% on the context here. We started out with a clear context and it immediately jumped to something like 25%. A lot of that has to do with the planning documents that are sitting in the context right now. But you'll see as we go on, we get a lot more mileage out of the way, out of this remaining context window. For secondary supporting accent colors, 2 to 3 more colors. Should they be analogous or contrasting to the electric blue? Contrasting pops. Hot pink, acid green, high energy. Each accent pops independently, more playful and chaotic. Warm, cool split. Electric blue is cool. Warm accent, amber or coral for contrast. You know what? I want to see what they decide. Better not suck. Should vote colors stay as the Reddit convention? Blue and orange. Keep convention, new palette colors. Yeah, let's do new palette colors. I don't want orange red in the middle of our. Oh, okay. Sorry, I had some messages from work. More questions about color palette. Move on. I only care so much about color palette. Dark mode character. Also, deep and rich, very dark backgrounds with subtle color tinting. Let's try that. A warm dark. Like an Arizona power outage. Should accent color shift in dark mode? I'm gonna let them decide. Dark mode, borders, be visible lines, or rely on elevation. Let's do elevation to change things up from what I'm more or less used to at this point. Should light mode also be elevation only, or keep borders in light mode and go borderless only in dark? Elevation only everywhere. More questions about dark mode? Next area. I don't have a lot of feelings about this. Generous and airy, balanced, compact, and dense. I don't want compact and dense. Hacker News and old Reddit look terrible. Generous and airy. We already have elevation, so maybe like we have this air thing going throughout the design. $10 pixels. More pillish. Let's do fully rounded pill. It's not a serious app. We can afford some levity. Shadow style, since it's only elevation. Shadows become important for depth. What feel? Soft and diffuse. Layered, stacked. Multiple shadow layers, different offsets, blurs. Four dimensional, feels crafted. Strap cards. You decide. Should the font size scale lean larger, more impactful headings, or stay standard, larger impactful? I like large text. I'm a little blind, admittedly. More questions about spacing and shape, or should we move on? I'm ready for context. Oh. All right, I think it does like a planning phase now, and then eventually execution, and then we'll have something to look at over here. I really hope it fixes the bad contrast on mouse over here. What's going on with, let's see if oh, Dark Reader was on this whole time? Motherfucker. Dark mode, dark reader, dark mode was on this entire time. So what looked like crap to me was just me being stupid. I had no idea what this whole thing looked like this entire time. This entire time. It looked bad. It looked even worse before, but now it looks bad. And hopefully it'll look more different next time after the redesign here. All right. More voiceover. It creeps me out. Ooh, I'm at 1 hour, 4 minutes. All right. I still can't believe. I still cannot believe I had it. I guess it doesn't really look that bad. I'm sorry if I'm blinding you right now. I really don't mind the design, as it were. I hear a storm. I do hear a storm. Oh yeah, we're in the thick of it. That's thunder. All right, I'm gonna turn dark mode on again. Cannot blame Dark Reader for making something ugly when it's my own dang fault. Oh, that's funny. It says thundering. Oh, appropriate. Apropos. Alright, cool. I was just wondering if it was smart enough to have to bounce this input. And it appears like it was. Good for them. I feel like we definitely need, I should say, some sort of better in-app navigation here, so I don't have to use the back button. Back button now will take me back to the creation page. Yep. I need some sort of navigation like Reddit has. Here. And I guess a sidebar too. We need to implement a sidebar. My point was... What was my point? Yes, inside of a post detail screen, we at least need the name of the subreddit here at the top so we can click back into it, or into it if we want to, if we came from one of the listing or the post listing pages, or just go back to wherever we came from, whether that was the post, the community itself, or one of these pages. Okay. I need to take another quick break. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. And we are 8.5 minutes into waiting for this thing to do whatever the hell it's going to do next. Enthralling stream content, Brian. It's alright. It's not work. I wouldn't just be twiddling my thumbs in between sessions at work. I can multitask and be doing research, planning the next phase of something if it was real work. Hopefully we'll soon be able to see the fruits of our labor. The fruits of our coding assistant's labor. I'm trying to figure out which light looks best, feels best, doesn't F up my green screen. Or make me look like a ghost. Alright, I should stop looking at myself. Oh my goodness. I wonder how many rainforests I'm killing right now, to be blunt. Not playing with my phone. I have a delivery that's coming and I want to make sure it's not stuck out in the rain. Not here yet. Oh, look at that. It only took like 12 minutes. All right, let's GSD execute. Oops. Space Grotesque, Nanito. All right, do work. I have a dinner tonight. I've been using this app for about a year and 3 months now, called Time Left, just to meet new people, eat new restaurants, and I have a dinner tonight. And usually it tells you what table number you're at, and it doesn't tonight, which makes me think that we're the only table there. I used to recommend this app pretty heavily, but it's gone downhill quite a bit over the past few months. They used to have sort of a pay per dinner model where you could just pay for one dinner at a time. You pay for your own food, but I just mean pay for the experience, a ticket to the experience where they match you up with people and everything like that. But now they're subscription only, which really kind of, I think if I was trying it for the first time, well, when I tried it for the first time, I committed to it. But most people wouldn't want to do that. I understand that. So I think they're chasing away a lot of potential customers by charging people ahead of time for experience they might not like and might not do again. Oh, let's go. Ooh, that thunder. Oh, and the rain. All right. I'm at an hour 20, so I'm gonna go watch the rain at some point, but I do want to take a look at this. I know we're going to have to restart this dev server, so let's do that. Let's turn Dark Reader off again. Wow, I hate it. It definitely looks more colorful. Why do all the cards interact when they aren't all interactive? I kind of don't love it. It might not know what I'm talking about. I don't know if it has any awareness of what skill it's invoked. You could have done so much better than this. No design intelligence backing them. You don't say. Yes. Do it again. It's going to make it purple. It's going to make shit purple. I just know it. friend. All right, let's do this damn thing again. And I do think next stream we're going to do it without Claude, or at least without GSD. I'm fine with using cursor instead of NeoVim if I have to, or we can play around with my NeoVim config and see if we can set up AI inside of it. I did experiment with it a little bit, but it's using something called Super Maven, which has since been shut down. I think might be a good candidate for Neocodium, which is basically Windsurf plugin for NeoVim. All right, what is this? You already have the fonts. All right, whatever. I'm gonna fast forward this music. Yes. Yes, make sure it builds. Bash command. I guess if you really want to commit yet, I haven't looked at it, but you can commit. Ooh. I guess not. That artifact is just a 4 there randomly. Oh, 5. Vibin'. We're vibing here. I'm gonna look up my usage. I've been going at it for a few hours now. I am at 63% for my current session. All right, not a problem. All right, we got to look and see if it's good. So let's restart the dev server, because for some reason it doesn't always like loading in the new shit. Yeah, I don't know why I expected it to look any different. It asked me about a dark mode, but it didn't implement the dark mode, which is awesome. I think this looks fine. Clicking this whole thing should take me. I'm probably blinding you right now, and I'm very sorry for that. Let's see if I can make it dark mode first. Couldn't find the text field for a second. Now this should be as easy as just changing a class or a property inside of the tailwind config, I would think. Yep. I guess it doesn't like that. Let's go to the dev server, start it again, go back over here, refresh. That doesn't seem to be doing jack shit. Did not work. So very much light mode. It's not. Oh, it's not live on board 3000, is it? Oh, it is. Okay, never mind. Never mind. I'm dumb. Oops. What am I doing? What is happening? There we go. Yes, let's see. I think it manually worked, but it wasn't there by default. I don't think the server's sending it anyways. Send the styles, Google's, Stark. This looks really nice. Sure. This is going to flash, I do believe, light mode. I think this is a bad hack. No, it just straight doesn't work. Let's see if it's giving us a warning. Oh, you know what it is? It's me not having restarted the dev server. I could have done that. I'm gonna do that. You know, for old time's sake. Shit. I'm gonna do this. It's not working still. So maybe body works better. Maybe? Maybe? Let's just say implement a dark mode switcher. Oh, wow. See, that'd have taken me like half an hour at least. All right, now wrap everything. Boom. even have lucid icons yet? I guess so. I guess we do. Oh yeah, I guess we do because it's being used in the logo, fake logo, the Flogo. Did fuck up the JSX. It's gonna fail. I think they messed up the JSX, which is a bitch. When you're a dumb machine, it's not a bitch for me. I know what I'm doing. Hey, it's working. Dark mode. Light mode, dark mode. I hate that transition. Like the background color here, it looks awful. Why does it even have a separate background color? I don't like the live sorting. That they don't do that on Reddit. I'm not sure I'm a fan here. So let's go to memes. Let's go create post. Markdown is not supported. Let's fix that. Fine enough. Let's speak with some knowledge here. I don't know, I type knowledge too, but let's post this. Yeah, no, it's not working. Says it's outside of the scope of the phase as it was planned. It's right, but I don't like it. Might have to just save that for another time. I'm missing my rainstorm. What? Okay. Oh, what's this? That's pretty nice. Pretty happy with this. I think it looks better now than it did in the intermediary state. I think the icons are better here. I don't love this icon still, but like the comment icon, these here. In the original pass, it was using like UTF-8 characters for the up and down arrows, and it looked like Hacker News. It looked a lot like Hacker News, which is nothing to strive for. All right. All right, I think I'm going to call it, folks. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.